Okay. Father, we pray that you give us the right words to say to impact people's lives in Jesus' name. Amen. Hello, everybody. Hello. We
Hello.
are here once again. Hello, Bao. Can we that beautiful very
Hello,
well?
hello, hello, hello. So this is the part two of
Yeah.
this series.
If you're wondering what is happening here, it's our 10th anniversary.
Yeah,
And we decided to do 10 mistakes that we have made in this marriage. And we're hoping that you learn from them.
exactly.
If you have not subscribed, subscribe, click the subscribe button, and then turn on your notification as well so that you would know when the next video drops.
And in case you are just meeting us for the first time, my name is Sunday Anani, and this is my wife.
Oluwatimileyin and Nani.
Absolutely correct. So in the first episode of this series, we ended that episode with a particular thing, and we ended that episode with how we assessed our marriage. In case you didn't watch that episode, please go to our YouTube channel. Just come to this channel. Watch day one. It's really important to watch it.
Yeah.
Now, we ended that part with an account of how we had one serious conflict in the first year of our marriage and how that changed. That led to something that changed everything for us.
Yeah.
Just as a quick recap, so that day, it was a Saturday. My wife and I, we went out. So it was the outing. It was during the outing that something happened. I did something that really infuriated her. She was really annoyed. And I tried to apologize. You will also remember that we mentioned in the first part that apologizing then and offending each other was a constant thing. It was a recurring, event. And so I apologized, but she wasn't having any of that at all. You remember, right?
Hey, like it was yesterday. I remember everything.
I can still remember too. I remember what you did that day when we came down.
I remember everything. Yeah. So one mistake or one thing that we did not harness well or that we did not learn well before marriage was the act of conflict resolution. We were in love. Our love was beautiful. It was amazing. We looked forward to marriage. We talked about our backgrounds. We talked about everything. In fact, we talked about a lot.
But somehow
we did talk about how we would resolve conflict.
Even though during courtship we used to have conflict, we would resolve it.
Right.
But conflict in marriage is a different ball game.
We were having conflict, we were resolving it.
Yeah.
But we didn't talk about the conflict resolution system that would work in the marriage we wanted to, get into. So that ill preparation actually affected us a lot.
It affected us.
And why? Why? We mentioned that naturally it's the people that you're closer to, that you're close to, that will offend you the most. It's not likely that a random person will keep offending you every time.
Exactly. If I live on number 10, for example, on my street, and somebody lives on number 30, the tendency that I will offend that person is very slim. But the closer you are to me, the higher the probability. And that was something that we didn't figure out, on time for us.
Yes.
So one weekend, something happened.
I also had an ideology too. I also had an ideology that the person that loves me so much will not offend me so much, sincerely. And I mentioned that I also struggle with an unforgiving spirit. I mean, I love deeply, I love wholeheartedly, and then because I love so much, I have this kind of expectation, very high expectation of the people that I love. And so when they offend me, it hurts me so much, like deeply.
What about now?
No. So that was in early marriage. Yeah. So we now want to talk about how that affected our marriage. So you wanted to talk about something that there was a day.
So there was a weekend, something happened. I offended my wife. It was a very serious offense. We were out of the house, so I apologized, but she still wasn't happy. We got back home. For me, after apologizing, I just felt that because I apologized over and over, I thought it was also okay. Went to bed. Then the following day was a Sunday. So I got up and said, "Babe, let's get set and go to church." But she didn't want to go to church with me. She was still not happy.
Why will I go to church?
She was still not
even
happy.
Went to church. I went to go and do worker in church.
For me,
I was still boiling at home.
Well,
I don't go to church.
Babe, I apologize. I've already begged you.
Yeah,
I mean, the problem there was just,
there's a phase between apologizing and then coming around.
Well,
although my own coming around would now linger so.
It lingers so much.
So much.
Anyway,
yeah.
So I went to church, and the pastor saw me, didn't see my wife, and so he asked me, so where's the wife? At the end of the service, he asked me, where's the wife? For those who, so I told him she was at home. So, and he asked me further why. So, and I couldn't lie. I'm not a very diplomatic person too. So I told him, we had an issue and she decided not to come to church and all that. So he said, then he said I should call my wife. To call the long story short, my wife came to the church. Then when the pastor's office,
he was even the one that called me.
He was the one that called you. He called my wife, and then my wife came over. Then we started the conversation. That day, my wife talked. Before then, there was no instance where she really opened up as to what was really happening between us.
There was nobody to really open up.
Right? That was one problem we had then. We didn't have somebody that we could say, and I think it's a problem many young couples are having today. Wait to be. People just get married. I'm not saying everybody. People get married and they just get into the marriage and they're just left to figure it out.
Exactly. See, and it's expected that you will have conflicts. It is expected. It's not something to brag about that. Me and my husband, we have never this thing. We have never
if that's your testimony,
that's your reality.
It's okay.
No problem.
But if you find yourself having some ups and downs, it's okay. It's just fine.
Doesn't mean that you're not.
No. It doesn't mean you're not okay. It's fine.
You have conflicts doesn't mean that you're not okay. It just means that you're unable to agree on a particular
at that point in time. So my wife talked about everything. She revealed everything to the pastor, which was helpful because we needed help. Imagine going to that place and she just said a few things, maybe 2 out of 10, and the pastor would not be able to help us. So she said everything. I also said my own. Obviously, I was more on the wrong side. So to cut the long story short, the pastor told us a whole lot.
Chief offender. I give it to you.
Thank you. But
thank you.
I mean, what would I say? So at the end of the day, the pastor now told us something, which was what we did that changed everything for us. He told us to go home and do an assessment of our marriage. He said we should go home and do an assessment of our marriage, and he explained how we should do it.
I remember that you told a particular couple, after that assessment helped us, a particular young couple, they were also facing that early marriage conflict. And when you told them, the person was wondering, like, how is this
going to resolve this problem?
Going to help us?
So it went.
Because it looked like it was going to create more
problems. So they went ahead, they did it, and it fixed the problem.
Yeah, I think one important thing to also do is to build a spiritual atmosphere when you want to do that thing. Because the truth of the matter is that he has the tendency to help your marriage, and he also has a tendency, if not done with the right mindset, to also cause more problem in the marriage.
Well, the truth is, I think it is how it is approached that matters.
Exactly. That's why I said that spiritual atmosphere is very important. Remember that we fasted and we were to pray before the exercise.
Our viewers will be watching. What exactly is it? How did you do it? It's very simple.
Before we get there, we want to talk about the mistakes that we made in early marriage. Let's talk about the visits that somebody had to our house that also changed the way you apologized.
So back then, I used to be a very good I used to apologize really well. Any small thing I'd apologized, and it's not because
I was not looking for the apology. I was looking for the change.
For the change.
Like, don't just apologize.
Exactly. So
let's see the fruits of
the apology.
Yeah, exactly.
So back then, I apologize. I would make the mistake again. Apologize. I'll come back again. So she wasn't having any of that. She would tell me back then. She would tell me, what is the outcome? What will you do better? Something like that. And I would just go. And do you know that I wasn't intentionally doing those things? To be honest with you, I was not intentionally doing those things. But she just sitting. She couldn't understand it. Now there was a day something happened between us in the church. Not that it happened in the church.
Was it in the church? Before church.
Before church, so we went to church.
And it was around that same issue again.
Around that time.
No, that same issue that happened when we went to.
Okay, yeah. That same issue, exactly. So
the Lord help you, sir.
Amen. And the Lord has helped me. The Lord has helped me. So the woman noticed the way we were relating, in the church, so she could notice that something was not right. Then she also noticed that, I was the one.
You gave me a
note.
And I refused to open the note.
So,
I don't know how to hide my feelings. I don't know how to hide my emotions.
Wait. How were you like that, for God's sake? How?
I just put the note somewhere. Let me
be serious. How were you like that?
How were you also like that?
That's true. So how were we both like that?
How were we like that? Oh my God.
My God. Jesus, we thank you.
So the woman noticed my body language.
She noticed it. To cut the long story short, she visited us a couple of days afterwards.
Was it not that same day?
No.
It wasn't that same day. No, yeah.
So she visited us a couple of days afterwards because we were new in the church and all that.
Yeah.
Then while we were talking, it wasn't a serious conversation. She just mentioned it in passing. That I can remember her exact words.
My husband is the begging type.
She said your husband appears to me to be the begging type. Woo! When I heard that thing, the thing hit my echo.
It was just that issue that we had. No, that issue that we had.
And she observed.
Observe the whole of our marriage, all of my husband's being.
And truly, I was the begging type because I was the offending person.
Who should be the begging type?
Exactly, I was. Now. So that comment she made now made me feel like, so I'm always begging in this marriage. So I was like, I changed my approach. After then, anytime I did something wrong to my wife, I would just apologize once, and
off.
I'll just go off.
He does not want to be the begging type again.
And that was not me. Before then, that was not me. Me, I used to be this person who apologized. I want to ensure that you are fine, you are okay, we are back in, on good terms and all that. But after that woman made that statement, one apology and that was it.
After that woman made your statement, yeah?
After the woman made that statement, I just changed my approach. After then, anytime I offended my wife, I just apologized once.
If you like, don't answer.
If you like, I will just go on my way.
You just lock up.
That was a mistake that we made. I particularly made in the early stage of our marriage because what was working for us at that time was working. So somebody making a comment did not mean that I was supposed to change my approach. So it took a while, right, for you to now notice.
I now noticed. So there was a day I now asked you that, wait, in fact, Ife, you used to go down on your knee to apologize.
And you used to like it.
Yeah, actually, wow.
Oh, you are not serious.
Oh my God.
I'll not be apologizing to you over and over.
So you used to go down on your knees. I think it was that one I noticed. The way you apologize, it melts me, basically. It's not like you immediately go on your knees. When you see that it's lingering.
If it melted, why didn't you come around on time?
No. The moment you do it, you should notice that I either start crying or we just make up like on time.
Cry. She's so crying. Yeah, one.
We'll now make up on time.
100 level marriage faculty. Marriage department. Sheki Banza was there for us.
Yeah.
Not for everybody anyway.
Yeah. Definitely.
So she now noticed the change.
I noticed that you just apologize and then lock up and then you stop kneeling down. You stopped kneeling to beg me.
Because I was tired also actually.
And I asked you, I said, is it related to what that woman said? Said something like that, like more.
Well, we came out of it and we learned better. Back to the story of how the pastor told us to resolve the issues. It's simple.
Any other thing? Wait, any other conflicts that we had? We had a lot of conflicts.
A lot of things now. You remember there was there was a time we had an issue that I think you said I went to work, you were at home. You now said, what did you do?
So I went to a very busy junction. And then I sat there.
Wait, what's the name of the junction? Is it not Agric along Ikorodu Road? If you are familiar with Ikorodu Road, Agric bus stop.
Was that Agric bus stop? Imagine, I want to go and sit down by the roadside. I was now listening to music. So when it was not time for me to go, I was now thinking, okay, what can I do?
And I was not back from work.
You weren't back from work. So I was saying, what can I do? Let me get home very late. Let me buy alcohol. I would smear it on my body, my mouth. Maybe I would just squish it in my mouth, pour it away, and then at least my mouth will smell that I'd gone to Shayo. And my body too will smell that way. And then I will stagger and get home, and then I will just create some kind of fear, like, the wife I married and say, that's something else.
It's not drunk.
Oh my God, I didn't know where that thought came from. So that was one of the things. That was how frustrated I was.
Did you not do it?
No, I didn't. I don't get liver.
Shakara. Well, to close up this episode, so the pastor told us to go and assess our marriage. So the assessment is simple. He told us to choose a day. That day we were to fast. At the end of the day, we'll both sit down together, break the fast, pray, get our notes. I had my notes, she had her notes. Then we would write down, I would write down two things. I would write down the things my wife was doing that I loved, that I liked, and which I wanted her to continue doing. Then I would also write down the list of things I wanted her to change that she wasn't doing well, that I didn't like. I wrote mine, then she was supposed to write hers as well. Now, if you look at our exercise, naturally, you would think that writing what your partner does not like will cause more problem, right? But that's not the goal. The goal was for us to know the pain points and then to find solution to each of those pain points.
I think I had 3 columns.
You had 3. Oh. They said we should write 2. My wife wrote 3. She wrote
what you were doing well. Right. And then I wrote what he was doing well. Then I wrote what you are not doing at all. And then what you are doing that you can improve on. And you are not doing enough.
So we then started, don't forget we started with fasting, with prayer. So the environment was not a rancorous environment. It was not an acrimonious, environment. The goal was to resolve. See, let me tell you, in any marriage, if you truly want to resolve an issue, you must be able to sit down together and talk. That is one of the major things the devil attacks in any marriage. That communication
breakdown.
If it can make you not to talk to each other, he has won the battle.
A lot of things will go
he has won, because the moment you can't talk to each other, the moment you can't listen to each other, there's nothing you can resolve. So I remember we were sitting on the bed that day. We sat down and then we began to take the issues one after the other. This is one. This is what you are doing that I don't like. Then we'll say, okay, what should I do instead? How should I do it?
My own list of what you were not doing at
if you saw my wife's list, I think it should be in that our courtship paper. It was that courtship book we used, I think. It was that courship book. If you saw what my wife wrote, the list was long. But anyway, it helped her. She opened up on everything and all of that.
I noticed your countenance when you saw what I wrote. You were like, is it that good?
Is it that bad?
Am I that bad?
Anyway, we took each of them, we discussed them, and then at the end we prayed, having agreed on what to do with those things. So that was it. After we did that exercise, people of God, it looked as if there was somewhere in our room that had a button called marriage reset. And we went there together. We went to go and press the button. It looked as if we started afresh. That thing, I can assure you, if you can do it with sincerity, not with the goal of, don't approach it with the goal of, I want to go and nail my husband. I want to go and nail my wife. If that is the goal, you are going there to go and win a conversation. That's not it. We wanted to win over those issues. And that was exactly what happened. Before we did that thing again, we're supposed to be doing it over and over. Before we did it again, it took a long time. Because that first one we did alone was a lifesaver. It restored a whole lot.
A marriage saver.
I'm telling you. The summary is that there is nothing your marriage is going through that you cannot talk about, that you cannot pray about, that you cannot fast about. Those things we did, during that period, just sitting down together, choosing a day to fast, praying, sitting down to now talk, and then pray again. That's not all. Then going ahead to do those things that we agreed on. That's very important, because we could have sat down, talked about it, and that's it.
Or even it might even have resulted into arguments and fights and
finding fault finding.
Exactly. It wasn't a fault finding exercise. Even though there were faults written down, it but we didn't do it with the goal of finding
fault.
fault. So, and it just changed the face of our
Everything
marriage.
for us.
Yeah.
Anyway, if this episode has been very helpful to you, we want to hear from you. We want to read your comments in the comment section. We want you to also share this video with your friends. Send the link to somebody, share it all over. Then subscribe to this channel.
Subscribe.
Yes, very important. We want to see your subscription so that we can be encouraged to do more. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you for being with us. God bless you.
Bye. Say bye-bye now. Bye.
Bye-bye.